Hello, welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to react to a video called Why the Middle Class is Shrinking. And everyone has their opinion why the middle class is shrinking. And even I have my own opinion why the middle class is shrinking. But I would think the reason why the middle class is shrinking is just because things has gotten more expensive. Inflation is rising higher. We're living in different times. It's not the 1980s or the 70s or even the 60s when our parents growing up. But things are different now. Things are more expensive. The technology we use is more expensive, especially they're more expensive to make, even though, in my opinion, they're shipping out to China for cheap labor and sitting back over here selling at a higher price that we have the consumer to pay for, and we know we're going to pay for it because the way they did do their marketing, the way they say things. Oh, you got to get this new iPhone 20 because it's the latest newest gadget and it's living like the Joneses. It's the new thing. It's the same thing buying $1 million mansion. Oh, because John has $1 million mansion, I gotta have $1 million mansion. And this is where we need to stop falling in this trap. And I think at the end of the day, social media has played a great role on shrinking the middle class because we gotta live like the Joneses. Or honestly, things are just higher now. And I think just people just want a better living quality of life. But I think the world is coming to understand is that not everyone can have a great quality of life. There are some people where you gotta have the great quality of life, and some people you gotta have not so great quality of life. But let's get to the video.
Everything costs more, man. And when everything costs more, the people that need and desire the most, they're going to get squeezed out. Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome back to another video. Let me move this down just a little bit before we get to talking here. So I was just sitting out here, guys, doing a little exercising, and I got to thinking about the fact that America, it really has like these two ends of the spectrum. We got like these very, very wealthy people, rich people, over $1 million net worth, 2, 3, $4 million net worth. And then America sort of has this lower class or poor class of people. And I got to thinking, okay, so who's in the middle of all this, right? Who are the people that are sort of what we would classify or we would call a middle class, right? But like it's like we know that the ends of the spectrum are growing, right? There's more and more rich people in America, and there's more and more poor people in America. So it's kind of like, okay, so what's going on with the middle class, the people in the middle? Like, what's happening to them? So the middle class essentially is sort of shrinking. Fewer and fewer people are sitting in this middle class. So I got to thinking, okay, so why is the middle class shrinking so much? There's a lot of factors from economics to social to political, but I kind of broke it down in my mind to just a few things. The first thing is wages, right?
Yes, he's hitting on the topic, wages. And wages has not been keeping up with your housing costs, your food prices, even your car prices. And honestly, he's right, nailing this right on the head because this relates to all of us because they're not willing to pay us more. They are trying to keep more money for them. The rich keep getting richer, the poor keeps getting poorer. And I mean, that's honestly really how it's been. And it's hard to get to middle class to upper middle class or lower class to middle class. I mean, it's just not working hard. You got to have some skills, develop those skills. And developing a skill takes a long time. And at the end of the day, if you're willing to go up to the next class, are you willing to develop a skill that'll take you from middle to upper or lower to middle? And that's what we need to do at the end of the day. And if you like this video so far, hit the thumbs up button and hit the like button. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.
Be out of here. Over the past few decades, if you look at the statistics, right? Wages for these people that are sitting right in the middle class, the wages have sort of stayed still, especially when you adjust it, say, for inflation. the wages that the middle class make have been sort of what they call stagnated. But at the same time, while these wages, what they earn at jobs, is about the same, and it's not really moving up the same with inflation, at the same time, you got the fact that everything is more expensive. Think about when from 2021 to 2023 or 2020 to 2023 or 2024, think about the huge increase
Yeah.
in rents, in healthcare, in education, in something, the huge increase in something as simple as insurance. Look at your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah.
Look how much that's gone up.
Yeah, my car insurance definitely increased. I remember I had two cars for $150, and now it's $200 for two cars. That's just crazy. And before it was $150 for two cars. For two cars. And now it went from 200. That's just crazy. And he is right. He is definitely right.
Up in the past 3 or 4 years, but at the same time, inflation's gone up, all the cost of everything's gone up, but guess what? The wages are right there. What people are earning is not keeping the pace with the cost of all these things that are around us. So you see this bigger and bigger and bigger gap. And the people that were in the lower middle class are becoming poor. And the people that were in the upper middle class are becoming rich. And it's causing what we typically and traditionally call the middle class to sort of shrink. And it makes it harder for the middle class people to sort of keep up with the old middle class standard of living. And another thing that kind of struck me when I was thinking about the middle class shrinking right before our eyes is income inequality. Now, when I talk about income inequality in terms of upper class, middle class, lower class, I'm talking about just a simple fact that a greater concentration of wealth is happening with the top 1% or the top 10% in America. And here's what makes me think about that. When I look at net worth, my personal net worth from 2020 to 2024, my personal net worth, and I was sort of in the upper middle class, my personal net worth doubled in just those 4 years because of the price, the value of real estate, stock market going crazy. The people that have the haves, they got a whole lot more in the last 3 or 4 years. And the people that have not, they got a whole lot less. And so it's sort of this inequality of stuff.
This is why you need to, at the end of the day, you need to invest in assets, real estate, bonds, stocks, things that go up in value during these times. And that's what I've started doing. Hopefully you guys and ladies out there are doing that as well, because at the end of the day, when there's a lot of inflation or price gouging, we need to invest. We need to invest as much as we can in order for us to survive and have a bigger net worth and figure out what can we do to knock off our bad debt? What can we do to increase our saving for retirement? This is what we need to figure out. What can we do to increase our wealth during these times? Or maybe it's a different project to help us make more money so we can live a better life. And I think in times of struggle, we need to do something, a big change to outlive those struggles in the long run.
People that have assets that are appreciating value, boom, they got richer in the last 3 or 4 years. People that had no assets of value, boom, they got a whole lot poorer over the last 3 or 4 years. And so you begin to see the concentration of wealth in America being held with these top 1 or 10 or 5% people at the top. They're holding more of the wealth today than they held just 4 or 5 years ago. And the people at the bottom, they're holding less of the world of America's wealth than they held 4 or 5 years ago. So it's like the people in the middle are getting squeezed out. Then you got to think about something as simple as globalization, what they call we live in a global society, right? A global society means that automation is global. Middle class jobs are global. Think about the middle class jobs that 40, 50 years ago, you went to work at the warehouse and you was there for 25 years and you retired from there. Well, those jobs are now overseas.
Yep.
Now those jobs are over in China and India and other places around the world, Mexico, wherever it could be. They're not here in America. Those sort of middle class jobs that kept America going, the middle class going for 100 years or more. Those jobs are gone because of globalization and automation. They don't need a bunch of workers when they got robots to do the job. They don't need a bunch of workers.
And that is why people really don't like automation, because at the end of the day, it replaces those jobs. And it's a tough subject, but it's one of those things where it needs to happen, unfortunately, because at the end of the day, people are emotional creatures and robots are not. I mean, you could make them emotional, but at the end of the day, it's a tough subject. And yeah, and at the end of the day, the business kind of have control of what they want to do, and we're just following their lead, unfortunately.
They have to pay $20 an hour when they can pay them $5 an hour over in Argentina somewhere. So these jobs, because of globalization and automation, these jobs are gone. And these are the jobs that used to provide stable middle class income and raise families. They not here as much no more. And speaking of jobs, think about the fact of unions. Unions used to be powerful in America. Unions don't have the power they used to have. They still powerful to an extent. Obviously, we saw what happened with the recent strike at the ports in the East Coast and the Gulf Coast of America. We know that they have some pull, and what they do is really, really important in terms of unions. But overall, if you look throughout America, unions aren't quite as strong as they used to be. And then you throw in not just jobs being globalized and unions not being as strong, but then you got to throw in, look, everything costs more, man. And when everything costs more, the people that need and desire the most, they're going to get squeezed out.
Yes.
I mean, think about something as simple as the cost of childcare. Like childcare is like a mortgage payment or a rent expense.
That is crazy. Yes, it is. It definitely is. And that's why in my generation, that's why my people in my generation are not really having children like that. And that is okay, because it's like a child payment. Oh, not a child payment, mortgage payment. And yeah, it's definitely expensive. And especially now you need two people to work now. Like, you just can't have one person to work and the wife stay home, cook and all that. Yeah, that's not attainable for everybody. Not in this economy. So if people are still thinking that can be achievable in this economy, let me know. Because at the end of the day, I don't see it.
Rent. If you have more than one child and you're trying to do daycare, that's crazy expensive. So here there's a lot of middle class families who struggle, two parent households or two people working in the household, got a kid that needs to go to daycare because they're not the age to go to school just yet. So they got to go to daycare. Well, guess what? How do you pay $1,500 a month, $1,200 a month for daycare? That's pulling money from people in the middle class. See, people on the rich end of the spectrum, they can pay for a nanny, or if they have a little money, they can pay for babysitting or whatever, or daycare with no problem. But poor people can't pay for it. And guess what? Those people in the middle, they can't pay for it either and still live the lifestyle. It's hard and difficult. So they end up seeing themselves sinking down into a lower class because they don't have $1,500 to pay every month to watch their 3-year-old or their 3 and their 4-year-old, right? So you got the cost of education, colleges, certifications, all that.
I'm going to end the video right here because I know this video has been pretty long. It's really sad to see what's happened to the middle class, but we can either rise above it or stay where we are. And that's all I have to say about this. And if you like this video so far, hit the like button, comment down below. What can we do to make the middle class thrive again? let me know down in the comments. And if you want me to watch this next video about reacting to a financial advisor that I don't agree with, watch this video up here.